In 2002, MoMA had an exhibition of the Russian avant-garde book movement. The modern sensibilities of graphic design can be traced through this movement. Here we can see some inspiring examples of what looks like modern graphic design. So what differentiates this period from the arts and craft movements that preceded it? The futurists found significance in the shape of letters, in the arrangement of text around the page, and in the details of typography. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But there are really two more important differences to note. The first is that the purpose of design from this movement is to communicate. The Russian futurists were at the heart of the Russian Revolution, which found it needed a way to unify people under its ideology. Artists who would have never had a chance under the old political structure suddenly had a voice in the new system as designers and were needed by the emerging political system. One of the earliest modern design influences is Alexander Rodchenko. Rodchenko was one of the most versatile constructivist artists to emerge after the Russian Revolution. Many 20th century graphic designers have been directly influenced by Rodchenko's work in the field. His influence has been so strong that it would be nearly impossible to single out all the designers whose work he's influenced. In a classic example of art imitating life, American conceptual artist Barbara Kruger captures the mood of both modern graphic design and Rodchenko's work. The second difference of the new art movements, modernism, futurism, and constructivism, from the preceding arts and crafts or Art Nouveau period, is the use of simple shapes, both in graphics and in the typography. What is more modern and classic at the same time but circles and squares? Enter the Bauhaus. The Bauhaus style, known as the International style, was defined by a lack of ornamentation and by the function of an object and its design. The form follows function slogan from the advent of the revolutionary nature of the 20th century architecture is in direct opposition to the frivolous ornamentation of the preceding period. The same aesthetic carried across to every art, even to graphic design. The Bauhaus School was founded in Germany in 1919. Many constructivist artists would teach or lecture at the school. The Bauhaus has had a profound influence on all the arts and changed the face of graphic design. The teachings at the Bauhaus School of Design, which functioned from 1919 to 1933, were greatly influenced by the machine age. The school's aim was to fuse all the arts under the concept of design. It sought to reverse the split between high art and low art by returning to the crafts as the foundation of all artistic activity. It developed a model for modern design that exemplified a vision of the future. A future that was to be found in the simple, functional shapes of everyday objects. All forms of design and art of the 20th century seem to be influenced by this influential school. Although the Bauhaus proclaimed no political agenda, they were forced to close in 1933 due to the pressure from the Nazi regime that saw it as a hotbed of foreign, possibly Jewish influences of cosmopolitan modernism. Germany's loss was to be America's gain, as many of the Bauhaus artists and designers moved to the USA, there to influence design as we know it today. In the next movie, we will see how Bauhaus lives today in contemporary graphic design, even on websites.